it's coming. I think it's finally coming. Time to get my butt in the house. Woo! Bring it. Come on. Y'all hear that?
What are you doing?
That's right, it's finally raining. Let it be known at 12:11 a.m. on July 18th, the drought might have finally broke. At least for this week. Dylan, buddy, I sure hope you're getting some of this. Praise the Lord, this might have saved our season. Well, good morning, folks, and what a good morning it is. Yes, we got some rain last night. In fact, the rain only stopped about an hour ago. Started about a little after 12 o'clock last night and ended about 7 o'clock this morning. And total, looks like we got somewhere in ballpark of around an inch or just a little less over pretty much all of our farms. Just might have saved our season. We haven't needed rain this bad in at least 10 years, if not longer. Thank goodness we finally got it. But I brought you out here to the cornfield because I want to show you just how dire things are right now. Yeah, we got an inch of rain, and yes, it's going to help this corn here some. It's definitely been terribly damaged already, but this rain will help fill out some of these ears that are out here. The plants that don't have ears, I mean, there's no help for them, but yes, it will definitely help. All right, I just want to give you a visual representation of just how dry it is out here. Now, we got about an inch of rain. An inch of rain is approximately 27,000 gallons of water over an acre. You think an inch of rain, 27,000 gallons of water over an acre of land, it could be muddy out here. No, I mean, you can tell there's some moisture in the soil, but muddy, it is not. We could drive our sprayer, combine, any piece of equipment out through here, and we would not even leave a cleat mark in the soil. But you think that shows you how dry it is? Check this out. I dug a hole in the soil to show you how much the water has infiltrated. All right, look in this hole. I mean, you can clearly see the moisture in there. It stops right there. Was that about 4 inches in the ground, and then beneath that 4 inches, I mean, it is straight up powder again. It is dry. There's no moisture. That stuff is hard as a brick. So an inch of rain was enough to wet approximately the top 4 inches of the soil, and not even get the top 4 inches of soil saturated or anything, just get some moisture into it. These soils could hold a whole lot more rain if we could get it. So while that's definitely helping, it's going to sustain the crop a little while. We've got some record high temps predicted this week. We're going to have, well, starting the day after tomorrow through the rest of the week, predicted temperatures 100, 101 degrees, sunny, no chance of rain. So this moisture we got in the soil, it's going to be used up in a hurry, just trying to keep these plants cool. And this is where our cover crop is really going to come into play. It's going to shade the soil. It's going to help to almost eliminate any kind of evaporative losses from the soil, to ensure that this moisture that we do have in the ground, if it leaves the soil, it's got to go through the plant first before it gets released to the atmosphere. And if water's going through the plant, it means there's also nutrients going through the plant. Whereas, like if we were in our cotton field, where it's not even close to lapping the middles, you got that hot 100-degree sun beating down on the soil, there's a lot of evaporative losses, and well, if it evaporates from the soil, it's not doing you any good at all. Whereas if the rainfall that we got, if it's got to go through the plant, it's helping you out because it's bringing nutrients to the plant and helping keep the plant cool. So these cover crops that we got, this thick mulch that we got on the ground, is really going to help to conserve the moisture that we've got and make sure that all the moisture that we got is utilized by the plant to hopefully help produce yield. So this inch of rain definitely helps. Going to get us by for a little while, but we ain't out of the woods by a long shot. We're going to need more rain and more rain regularly in order to try and salvage yield this year. And not necessarily for this corn, because the damage has been done on the corn crop. Where these little bit greener areas, this rain will definitely help fill some of the kernels out on these ears. Won't quite get it to black layer, but it'll get it a little bit farther along. But where it's really going to help is our soybeans, our full season beans, our cotton, and our double crop beans, because our double crop beans have basically just stopped growing. So this is going to help them get back to growing again, putting on some vertical growth, some more nodes, places we can set pods. But in order to have any kind of yield, we're still going to need some more rain. So definitely helps. We'll get us by for a little while. We ain't out of the woods yet though. Oh, like Kelly says, nothing like the sounds of the country, is it? All the rain has moved out, and of course the ground was so dry before the rain, we're not having any problems getting right back in the field and getting our cotton sprayed. Next to last job we got to do before we leave on vacation is get all of our cotton sprayed for plant growth, to get all the cotton sprayed for plant bugs, spider mites, little foliar fertilizer, and some plant growth regulator. I just going to show you one last look at the cotton before we leave. This right here is some of my worst look cotton. This is about the thinnest ground I got. I think there used to be a house here. I mean, there's like literally no topsoil, and the cotton's not tall and won't grow that much. And this field right here doesn't even need a plant growth regulator, but it's getting it. Anyway, see the cotton is blooming, sitting on fruit, and you can see the nodes. There's one, there's another one there. You see how closely these nodes are stacked to each other. Typically you want about 3 fingers width. That's about optimal growing. Well, these are less than 3 finger widths. So like I said, this cotton right here doesn't need a plant growth regulator, but we're not mixing up a separate load for a 4-acre field. But what we're looking at on a lot of the other cotton is this distance in between the upper nodes is more than 3 finger leaves, which is about 3 inches. So we want to keep the plant from growing too robust, because robust cotton doesn't put on as much yield as more compact cotton does. So what that plant growth regulator does, it doesn't stop the plant from growing or anything, didn't slow it down, but the cells in the stalk and the branches, it keeps them from growing as long. So it's still putting on the same number of cells, but they're just not as long, not as big, so therefore the cotton doesn't grow as tall. And then I was hoping to show you some spider mites, but I imagine the rain washed a lot of them off, and they're going to be harder to find. But typically you'll see them on the underside of the leaves, and they do a lot of the same stuff that thrips do, except they're a lot greater numbers. But they will kind of turn the leaf kind of a reddish bronze if they get enough. There's a leaf right there. You can kind of see that reddish bronze part. That's where spider mites have fed, and you can't, I know you can't see them in the camera, but there's going to be a few on the bottom side of the leaf, and they typically only appear in hot, dry weather, like exactly what we had, like exactly what we're going to have this coming week. We got some eggs there. Don't know what insect that's from, but some insect laid some eggs on the underside of that leaf. And then we're also spraying for plant bugs out here. I don't have my sweep net with me, otherwise I try and catch you a plant bug. So plant bugs and spider mites, the 2 main pests we're spraying for. Talked about plant growth regulator, and then a foliar fertilizer. We're putting a full bore on here, which is a Helena product, and it's got nitrogen as part of the fertilizer, but the biggest part of the fertilizer is boron. And boron's important in the cotton plant to really help it hold on to fruit, these squares, and keep them from kicking off. And well, with the hot, dry conditions we're going to have, we want the cotton plant to try and hold on to the fruit instead of shedding it off. So hopefully a good shot of this foliar fertilizer will help it do that. This afternoon I'm doing Kelly's job. She's back at the house finishing up packing, so when we get done spraying tomorrow, all we got to do is throw our luggage in the car, and skedaddle for Florida. So she'll be back on the water truck tomorrow while I finish paying landlords their wheat checks, getting all that figured up, and also getting figured up the bills on the landlords that are on shares with me and owe me for some of the crop inputs. But anyway, here's what we're spraying. There's the full bore, the foliar fertilizer. Diamond, that's an insecticide for plant bugs. Got Transform, that's another insecticide for plant bugs. And we got two different modes of action there to try and mitigate any kind of resistance. We also got this Agrimec right here. That's the miticide that we're spraying for the spider mites. So, well, it looks like Zach got empty, so I'm gonna get it filled up. This is probably gonna be the last load we put out today, and I'll bring you back a little bit later tonight, show you the last thing we gotta do before we leave for vacation. Well, all right, guys. Well, I just got done figuring up all the landlord bills, the wheat payments I've got to make to my landlords that's on share rent. Got all that stuff figured up and sent out to them. So Zach and Kelly, they're working on spraying their last load of cotton insecticide, and we've got everything buttoned up around here. We're ready to make tracks for the beach. But on the wheat total, we're having to pay out $31,600 in wheat payments to our landlords, the ones that are on share rent that get a portion of the crop, and that's after deducting any expenses that they owed me for the wheat payments. But total, we produce approximately 43,500 bushels of wheat off of 525 acres, gives us an average yield of right around 83 bushels an acre. Good, just a hair below average, just a hair below what I was expecting, but overall had a dang good wheat crop. And like some of my previous videos have alluded to, that might be the only profit we make this year if things don't break in a hurry. We got that inch of rain a couple days ago. So grateful for it. I'm not complaining about it whatsoever, don't get me wrong, but it was only enough just to buy us a little bit of a time. And with temperatures the rest of this week predicted to be 100 degrees or over, our crops are going to be getting stressed again really quick. So really need some more continuous rain to make this crop. Unfortunately, damage has been done on the corn crop, or actually damage has been done on all crops. Corn crop damage has been severe. Cotton crop, soybean crop, damage hadn't been severe yet. We have, I do believe we've lost some yield potential, but we still got real good potential left there if these temperatures will moderate some and we can get steady rains throughout the rest of July, August, and first part of September. So still got a long ways to go on those crops. Keep our fingers crossed. Please join me in saying prayers that we continue to get the rains we need. I know we're actually in a little bit better shape than what Dylan is. Dylan missed out on a good part of that rain that we got the other night, so we're in a little bit better shape than him. Also pray for him that they get rain. He still got some optimism about what his crops can do. Of course, he's got a little bit different situation up there, but he's in just as dire straits as what we are down here, if not more. So anyway, guys, we're going to lock things up here. We're going to make tracks for the beach for about the next 10 days. We got a 1,000-mile, 16-hour drive in front of us. Luckily, Kelly and I work together, so we're used to being together for long stretches of time. So looking forward to the drive, looking forward to a little R&R and getting away from the farm, hopefully get our batteries recharged, because no sooner we get back, we got to get started preparing for fall harvest, which is probably going to become a little bit earlier this year. So anyway, appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next one.